Hey, Deepak, amide, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's going on?
Uh, Life, just trying to survive down here.
It's
It's good.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I think everybody everywhere is going through the same stuff. How's the weather? It been hot?
Beautiful. Can't complain
Beautiful.
about the weather. Yep.
All right. Well, at least the weather's good, right?
Yeah. Yep. Can't complain about the weather.
Very glad to hear it. Deepak, how are you? I just emailed you back. I know you had emailed me on like a 30 unit rental building. We do all that stuff. I'm happy to work with you on those deals.
Okay, yeah, I just want to build my own list of potential contacts.
Yeah, I had a call last night with a loan officer, residential loan officer out in Vegas, and it's one of those things like we had a conversation about one topic, but we left the conversation with three other opportunities. So because unless you know exactly how to like speak that language in that market, it's kind of difficult to know what outlet wants those deals, right? So on like deals under $1 million, it limits our pool of lending options. Over $1 million, it opens up like another bracket, and like $3 million and above opens up like the main players in that marketplace. So I always tell everyone like it's always best early on, to let me, hold your hand and walk you through the process, even sit on a couple calls with the people that are interested in that stuff, just so you could learn and also you could understand like where those outlets go.
Right. Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm sure more people will join as we get going, but I wanted to go over, today two things. I wanted to go over first, obviously, the top 10 reasons why I believe people don't have business right now in today's specific market, as well as what everyone loves to do. I think everyone usually gets away from what they love to do in the business world for whatever reason because they get pulled in many different directions. But getting back to my list of my top 10 suggestions why you may not have much business today. One, your marketing is boring. A lot of people just share everyone else's marketing or, share the company's generic marketing. And there's really no target audience. There's nothing that really brings value or stands out. So you may want to, take a look at your marketing. Two, you take days off. Now, I'm not telling you don't take days off. Everyone deserves day off, obviously. What my personal opinion would be is even if you plan on taking a day off, if you're on vacation with your family, come up with something that you believe is going to be valuable to yourself, to your personal life, to your business. You really got to figure out what you could do each day, whether it takes 2 minutes, like a social media post, 10 minutes for maybe a personal workout, or something that's going to make you guys really feel productive, even on your days off. My best days are days when I don't leave my house sometimes because I'm able to, clean up a little bit, get organized, write some blog posts, make some content, and kind of move at my own pace rather than having other people dictate my pace. Number three, you think you're entitled to getting business. The business has gotten so ultra competitive. Back in the day, you would just deal with people being your competition. Now you're dealing with online marketing companies, bots, and everything else where everyone and everything is your competition. And the media, the news has actually become your biggest competition and your worst enemy because the media and the news right now, as they usually do, promote a lot of fear and instability in the market. And it causes people to remain on the fence rather than taking action. Number four is you do nothing to differentiate yourself from your competition. I almost tell people, go above and beyond, go over the top, do something outrageous, outlandish. That way you kind of catch people's attention, right? It might be crazy, you might do something silly, but if it catches people's attention, that's how you're going to get eyes to gravitate towards you and have people actually know you aside from everyone else that does what you do. Number five, you're not consistent. I understand how challenging it is to be consistent in every part of life. I had a call yesterday with a really good friend, and the topic was basically like how you manage kids and still succeed in work and still have some type of personal life and succeed in business, right? At the same time, while being pulled in different directions. So what I would say is like every day you need to set three constants, right? Whatever those three things are, you can't get pulled away from doing them. So if you want to prospect and call 50 people, break that up into maybe an hour and call 15 people an hour, right? If you want to send out an email blast, send out the email blast, but you can't get pulled in different directions, which takes away from your consistency. because consistency breeds momentum and momentum breeds results, right? So every time you take a day off or are inconsistent, all you're doing is costing yourself opportunity from building on the prior day or weeks or months hard work. Number 6, you're not trying hard enough. That's a very subjective statement, I know, and I apologize for that. Everyone, I'm sure in their own mind thinks they work hard. It's all relative to what, you believe hard work is. And also where you want to go. I think we often get away from what success is, and like success is different for everybody, as is hard work is different from everybody. But if you don't have any deals right now, you have no business and you have no money, you can control working hard. Working hard doesn't cost you any money, right? So really focus on what you think you want to succeed, and then craft your working hard plan in order to get to where you want to be. Number 7, brought this right back full circle. You don't have objective goals, right? Everyone's like, yeah, I want to be successful. Yeah, I want to be number 1 in my company. Yeah, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, well, why don't we start with very small goals, such as I want to talk to 100 people this week. And if I talk to 100 people this week, I want to pull 10 credit reports. And if I pull 10 credit reports, I want to be able to issue 5 pre-approvals, right? Because now you're actually hitting measures and marks where you can actually track those statistics. And then maybe the next week you say, hey, I want to talk to 200 people and issue 20 pre-approvals, right? And so on and so forth. So really set objective goals that nobody can debate. Number 8, it's a big problem in the industry. It always has been. It's been even since the day I got into the business when I was a young little kid. You don't know the business. And I think that's part of the problem in general is, people need to understand that it's your responsibility to take the time to learn the business. Now, don't rely on your managers, your higher ups, your top executives, or anybody. I try and teach everyone as best as I can. I'm obviously one person in one select marketplace, and I can, try my best to help everybody out. But it's your job to read guidelines. It's your job to know what your bank pricing or mortgage company pricing is on interest rates. It's your job to know underwriting guidelines. Every company's specific, unfortunately, so it's kind of hard to educate on that. But it's your job to know the basics. Like, you can't get an FHA loan on an investment property. I can't tell you how many loan officers call me up and like, yeah, my client wants to buy this investment property, but I'm like, you can't do an FHA loan on an investment property. Like, that's like day one basics, right? So take the time to actually learn the business so you become knowledgeable. Number 9, it's across the board in every industry. You make excuses. Everyone's guilty of that. As I've gotten older and more seasoned, I've been using that word seasoned lately, is you get further away from making excuses when you have that much more on the line, right? So when you're early on in your career, it's easy to make excuses why you're not succeeding. When you're 10 years in or 15 years in, what are your excuses for not having business that long in? If you didn't do things the right way over the past 5, 10, 15 years, yeah, you're probably not succeeding. But don't make excuses as to why you don't get business. Figure out what the problem is and then focus on solutions or strategies to succeed so you don't have to make excuses. Number 10, this is what we're going to cap it off with, is you're short-sighted. I tell everyone all the time, like back in 2008, when I really first got started, I would have to talk to almost 100 people just to get 3 qualified leads. Everyone was in a modification, short sale, default, no job, negative equity, you name it, right? They didn't have any money, poor credit, whatever the case may be. And it's a numbers game, right? So if you're short-sighted on, I didn't make any money this month, I didn't make any money this month, like you can't look at it as this month. I look at my business in the matter of a 12-month span. So everyone can take their evaluation today where you're at on July 13th, 2022, whenever you're watching this video, and say, in the next year, I want to make X amount of dollars and I want to close X amount of business. And then you unravel that from there, right? So let's say you want to make $100,000 in the next 12 months. That's like $8,300 a month. Well, this month probably shot. August probably going to be slow. That leaves you 10 months to make $100,000, right? So you got to make 10 grand a month at that point. Well, if you want to make 10 grand a month based on your commission or compensation structure, how many loans is that, right? How many millions of dollars of business do you have to even submit to have a shot at doing that? Is that $10,000 a month before taxes or after taxes? Like, you need to reverse engineer, what your goals are, where you want to be, and you can't take this business in a short-sighted approach. Otherwise, the valleys will kill you, and then the peaks you'll miss out on because you're too, worried about, the short-term valleys. So that's today's, brief topic of discussion is my top 10 reasons why I think people need to kind of analyze their business and their own personal life to see what they're going to do to become more successful. I'm going to take a couple questions. I know we went through that rather quickly. If anybody wants to take themselves off mute, we can have a quick little self-evaluation. You can ask any type of questions regarding strategy or insight, or maybe even how you get out of your own way. But does anybody want to get started? Anybody? Nobody? We always have to break the ice here, it seems. Maximo, my veteran, take yourself off mute. Let's see that beautiful face. Come on, brother. I know you always ask good questions.
All right, I'm off mute, but my phone's privacy settings are giving me issues. Can everyone
Hey,
hear
no
me?
worries.
What's going on? I know it's been a while. I haven't been on in a while. Just, trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, and I think everyone is. I think right now it's really hard to figure things out because there's so much uncertainty. My opinion always is, rather than trying to figure things out on your own, lean on people that have been there before or kind of, guide you or navigate you in the right direction. I'm not sure how much of the presentation you caught, but, what are some things that you're seeing right now in the market, and where can I potentially help you, just in a quick 30, 40 seconds on this call?
Honestly, I just need to get back out there and build the relationships. I've kind of stepped away from that for a little bit just because I've been focusing on, and I think it was like number 8 on your list, just learning the job in itself. So pretty much learning how to do everything from origination through processing and everything, which I do have an LOA, but I'm trying to I feel like I learn better that way. So
yeah, I think that's equally important. I always say like the best time to learn the business is by doing the business. And then the second best time to learn the business is after hours when no one else is doing the business. If that makes sense, right? So like during the day, you
yes.
should be going out there, meeting people, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. When you get home, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, you sacrifice your Netflix in order to read up on mortgage guidelines and your company's products and programs and, put your strategy together. My key word in the past, well, probably 3 years, but my key word probably in the past 3 days, if you will, is sacrifice. And I don't think people really understand the meaning of sacrifice or know even what that entails. But, this business is not easy. It's not easy when things are good, right? So if it's not easy when things are good, you have to sacrifice even more when things are not good and when things are more challenging. And I think people really need to understand that concept. You need to sacrifice more when the market is challenging, not less. And people, unfortunately, get easily discouraged and, kind of check out when they should be doing the opposite. They should be going, all in, balls to the wall to, make up for the, challenging times in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I've gotten into a lot is just, like you said, just hammering that V8 market. And believe it or not, I'm learning more and more every day that it's such a misunderstood program. So I'm finding a lot of success doing that, and not even. I'm at the point where I'm having these meetings, and I'm just being straight up with them. Look, I don't want all of your business. I don't need your jumbos. I don't need your difficult condos. But if you have any veterans, I want to be the one that you call to take care of them, and this is why. And then I just go into that whole thing.
I mean, look, that's your niche, right? That's what you're going to use to stand out. I think that's brilliant, and I'm not going to say you don't box yourself in the corner with that, but lead with the VA. First of all, the right people will respect you from your background, right?
Yeah.
Second, they'll think of you every time they hear VA. And then third, they'll just start calling you and giving you business, just because, right?
Yeah. And that's what I've seen. I mean, I get 1 or 2 VA deals, and it's like, wow. I had one last 2 weeks ago, closed VA in like 17 days. And they're like, all right, well, if you can do that with a government loan, then take this one and let's run with it.
It's all it is, my friend. Just keep doing that. And remember, like brick by brick, day by day, you got to keep building on that. And look, there are some times where you need to, knock your tower over, right, and restart. But the key is like every single day, keep building on top of that. And then you'll know when you need to, build a new foundation. But if you build the right foundation every time that you knock the tower over, hopefully, 2 or 3 more blocks will sit on that foundation, right? As you get taller to the top, becomes a little bit more wobbly, but there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with replacing those top bricks, but just make sure your bottom core bricks are, locked in. That way you can scale.
Yep, absolutely.
Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother, man. Well, you be well. If you need anything, I'm always here for you, whatever you need.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Likewise. Anybody else have any questions, thoughts, comments before we hop off here? Derrick Booker, what's going on? Any relation to Devin Booker from the Suns?
Hey, no, I wish I had that guy's money, even his good looks.
No, I listen. You got the looks. You got the looks now. Maybe we just got to work on the money now.
Yeah. So I'm newly licensed, and I am still actually waiting for my license to be approved. And I saw you out in one of the Facebook groups, so I thought I'd join in and start getting some support from you guys.
I appreciate that. So there's a ton of other Zoom at Noons all over YouTube. If you just, YouTube Zoom at Noon, they should all come up. I would recommend you and everyone else to go back and rewatch all the episodes dating back to January. I find that I myself go back and watch them and kind of compare what I say then to where we're at in the market now. And I think that'll build a little bit more trust and credibility and make you want to join all these calls every Wednesday. I think like my biggest advice to you right now is don't focus on anything else other than going out and meeting people and shaking hands. When I first started in the business, there were no deals, literally no deals to be had. And I just focused on going out there and making friends. And, in an 18-month window, I prospered very nicely. And it took 9 months to get there, right? So if you're just starting today, don't expect any results, like monumental results, really for the first 9 months to 12 months. But, in the next 18 months, hopefully you'll be sitting in a much better position and much more confident in your craft.
Okay, thanks for the information.
Where are you located?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, my uncle played for the Falcons. That's cool. All right.
Cool.
All right. Well, listen, keep going down there. It's a hot market. Just stay focused. That's all I can tell you. Get locked in.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Derrick. All right, guys. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts? Need anything before we check off here? As you know, you can always reach out to me one-on-one as well. But other than that, stay focused, stay locked in. Go back and review that list that we went over. Rewatch this episode, and look. You need to be your toughest critic, and you also need to be your biggest fan at the same time. Max, I see the book out there. See you showing it up. What I recommend you guys all doing is really just taking an honest approach on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, and figure out where you want to go. There are not immediate results in this. Nothing good comes easy. But if you think you like this business, if you enjoy helping people, stick it out, and then the money will come. And just make sure you're aligned with the right people. The more people that you're aligned with that do things the right way, hopefully the more that you'll succeed. So as always, you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.